everybody? Welcome to Spin Rack. Today we're going to be talking about that new hot show on CW, Supergirl, Superman. Cal, what was your impression of this show?
I don't know how you get new, but yeah. What can I tell you? You know what? I think in spite of all of the education that I've gone through and all the years of university and such, I really enjoyed it. Go figure. I should have hated this show, but I did enjoy it. And I'm a Superman fan saying I should have hated this show.
I'm shocked. I thought you would have loved it. I thought it was a great show. I thought it was a great introduction to Superman, because this is the Superman in the mold of
Christopher
Reeve,
Kirk Allen, George Reeve, everybody but Tom Welling, because he actually wore the suit.
Yeah, well, come on. But Christopher Reeve, I thought that he was funny, he was engaging, he was knowledgeable, and most importantly, he didn't steal the show from Kara.
Most important, he didn't kill anybody. He didn't snap anybody's neck while he was on the show. That's the most important thing.
He was good, and I thought that if this keeps up, I think this guy may become the definitive Superman. I'm sorry about that, Henry Cavill, but this guy seems to be much better than, at least you're in the wrong. The way you're written is not what I guess a lot of the audience like, and I think this was very surprising. It came out pretty good.
Look, it's too late for Henry Cavill. You were never going to become the definitive anything with regards to Superman. And that's no slate against Henry Cavill, the person, or the actor. They gave you a horrible treatment to work with Superman, and that's just pretty much it. He's being a good guy. He's going to finish it. But I mean, it's if you compare what went on in Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, just to the opening when you finally see Superman in Superman the movie, he smiles like 8 times in that sequence there. And in those 2 movies, you're hard pressed to find like 2 smiles from Superman in the whole thing. It's just terrible. And then you go to this show, and it's the same thing. He comes across, he's likable, he enjoys what he's doing, he's a hero. When people meet him, they're not cringing in fear, wondering what he's going to do. People want to go up, they want to touch him, they want to shake his hand. He's thanking people. That's Superman. It's such, how did you guys screw it up in the movies? It's not that big. These guys got it right. It's not that hard. The only thing they messed up was they didn't have the trunks, and that, they made the same mistake as the film. But aside of that, it's like the persona, they had everything you were supposed to do. How do you mess that up? How do you do it?
The only thing that I had a problem with is that if you have 2 superheroes like Supergirl and Superman, then what can ever go wrong? I mean, between these 2, they can do everything.
Oh, plenty.
But I love the fact that I like their interaction. It really worked to me, these 2 actors. I also like the fact that Kat Danvers actually had a crush on
That's from the comics. That's from the comics. I actually like that too.
So it was pretty good. I personally like Kat Danvers. I think that she's a really good character in the character. But who is the plays her?
Calista Flockhart.
Calista Flockhart. She does a great job. Of being that particular character. And I'm glad that she came back another season, it looks like.
Yeah, she'll be a recurring character because since they moved to Vancouver now, that's not necessarily conducive for her being a regular.
Right, that's right.
So they'll have someone else step in. I liked it because I thought it was very playful on her part as a character, because she really comes across so hard-edged. Mm-hmm. The fact that, who's there? And, she's actually, getting up, she's shimmying her shirt, making certain she looks good. Let me go over here and talk to this dude. I like that because it is a softer side of her to see. I mean, there are issues that I have with the show, like Supergirl. Like, I'm not certain what kind of blonde that is, but it's not really blonde. It's like almost blonde. I was like, you could have just made the character blonde. Okay, I would have liked if Superman was, taller. Chris Reeve was 6'4". This guy looks about 6 feet. Jimmy Olsen is taller. Jimmy Olsen is not supposed to be taller than Superman. I really hated the fact that they built up this relationship that was supposed to happen between Kara and Jimmy Olsen, and they decided we're going to just forget all about that. Why? And I understand why too, because it's an interracial relationship. You don't want the 2 of these guys together, okay, and then have to deal with all the flack, because then you're going to have all these people supporting it because it's an interracial relationship, not because they like it, and then it becomes all this agenda coming behind it. You're going to have all this politics, and you don't want that. And I think that was the right idea. They showed a lot of chemistry, I think, between themselves in the first 3-4 episodes, but it just got all messed up. Yeah, let Jimmy do his own thing, and they're actually going to make Jimmy a superhero too, so I'm looking forward to that. Let Kara do her own thing. Let them be really, good friends, really good confidants, and I think that would work. But, man, once I saw Superman pull back and run, I was off to the races. I was like, this is what the hell I've been waiting for. I didn't get to see that once in Batman vs. Superman. Not one time. The iconic pull back and run off to the races. And then when he shows up, the way they did it, and I thought they did it so beautifully and so smart. You have Superman running to save the ship, and you have Supergirl running to save the ship. I heard so much whining about, oh, it's Supergirl show, and if Superman's in it, she's gonna lose her spotlight. No, you don't have to write them like that. These are two people who actually like each other. They're not competing with each other. They're gonna help each other. They're family, for bloody hell's sake. They're family. And that's all they did. We had a group of people looking, okay, Superman's going to save the day. Supergirl's going to save the day. And when we get there, they're like, no, people, it's not about which one of us is going to save the day. We're going to save the day. We're going to save the day. Okay, we're in this together. That's what too many people seem to forget about it. And that part of Supergirl really helped me out, especially with all this divisive nonsense going on right now. Thank you, American political system, to remember, hey, we're all in this together. It's not who's better than who's faster than who. How are we going to work together to solve this problem? They work together. They solve the problem. We got some really good interplay between them as well. It's hard, though, because some of Supergirl comes across as this rom-com stuff, and I enjoy some of that, not too much of it. But hey, man, you got Superman right. You got Supergirl right. Okay, you got rid of the relationship. I wasn't happy about that after a whole damn season, but at the very least, it looks like they're both going to be even footing. Callista Flockhart was still there for right now. They didn't do too much with Alex, who I think is the biggest Mary Sue since Rey in Star Wars. I'm there, baby. I'm there.
Well, definitely like. What do you think of Lex Luthor's sister? Seems to be.
Good Lord, come on!
I know.
It's like every Superman villain, just make a female and put her on the show. I'm like, come on! And the thing is, in the comics, Lex Luthor does have a sister, but his sister tends to be good. She tends to be a good person, unlike Lex Luthor. Here, I mean, for all those people who have the criticism that Supergirl is just Superman in a skirt, those people always tell them, look, you're wrong. Supergirl is her own definitive character. If you now came to me and said Lena Luthor is just Lex Luthor in a pantsuit, I would have to say, yes, you're 100% right, because this isn't even the character from the comics. But let's see how it goes. I'm familiar with the actress. I've seen her on The Tudors. She also played on Dracula, which was on the CW for a short period of time. So I'm familiar with her, and she does good work. So let's see how it goes. She was also on the. This is a good piece of trivia because she was also on a show that was inspired by Smallville. The Adventures of Merlin. Smallville was was successful, and they decided to do a King Arthur show that was pretty much in the same vein of that. And The Adventures of Merlin was inspired by Smallville. She was on it, and now she's going to be here.
Wow.
Yeah, she's Irish.
So, what do you think about the numbers that have come out so far? That it's originally opening on CBS was about 12 million, and the opening here for CW is only 3.
That's about right.
I mean, that's roughly what CW tends to hold out.
See, I don't know. I didn't
but
get
that's a huge number. I don't know if that includes.
I have to see. I didn't get. Because I don't know. Because a lot of times they'll look at the ratings, and the way you look at ratings now, you have to also factor in the DVR stuff. Because it's just if you're like myself, you may not get to it. You may not get to it right away. You may have other things to do, or you may want to watch it when you have a quiet moment. And so those things also factor in. I haven't had a chance to look at the full ratings yet. But opening to 3 for the CW is pretty good because The Flash was their top show. And The Flash's top opening was like, at their height was about 3 million.
Yeah, about that too.
So that's, those are good. I mean, those are really good numbers. And I never expected her to carry over 12 million from CBS. One of the things I think a lot of people don't understand when they're like, oh, look, the show went down. Look at how bad the ratings are. When you leave places like New York City or major metropolitan areas, they don't have the station. Okay, they don't have the stations. So you may be in some place. You may be. I don't want to say any particular place because I don't want to. Oh, your place doesn't have any channels. But you could just go. Yeah, you might go to Chicago and they don't carry the CW. So now if you want to see it, you have to find some other way to go about seeing it.
It's in Peoria or something like that. You gotta look at that too.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why the numbers will be higher for a show like CBS and lower for the CW, simply because they don't have as many stations as one of the big 3, CBS, ABC, or NBC.
So overall, we loved this episode. A great start to the Supergirl franchise. And of course, as long as Superman is there and they're dynamic, interaction continued, I think it will be a hit.
He's only supposed to be there for one more episode, and then he's going to be back off to the races, which I agree with.
I think the thought is that they'll probably bring him back later
They
on.
might, yeah, they'll bring him back for some more episodes, but if they're going to do what they did last time, and it's going to be about 20, 24 episodes around them, once you get Superman in 6 of them, he's like in 25%, that's a big high number. That's a
Pretty good, you're right.
that's a high number. You know, the first 2 is fine. If he wants to make a cameo here and there, fine. But you've already shown that you can have the 2 of them without her losing any thunder. It doesn't have to become the Superman and Supergirl show. That would be a big mistake. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
But now that you got this guy who seems like clear Superman, I mean, shouldn't we do? I mean, just one episode, I think that he's proven that he can carry the mantle of Superman.
No.
You think?
No, I think he's a good Superman for this, for what he's doing right over here. But the casting of Superman was an afterthought, and
Wow.
the casting it was an afterthought because the whole idea was one. Everyone kept saying, well, we can't use him for this reason, that reason, this reason, that reason. So you casted everybody else, including a 6'4" tall Jimmy Olsen. Now, I think when they asked Warner Brothers, hey, can we use Superman? They didn't even expect to get a yes. They were probably like, hey, can we use him? They're going to say no. Yeah, you can use him. Huh? What? Then it became a scramble. We got to get somebody good. And Tyler Hoechlin is, I do think he is a good pick. Okay? However, because the casting is after the fact, I don't see him as a good fit with a lot of the other dynamics they have going on. So, I think he works well, for this show. But if you wanted to spin off, let him have his own show, that I'm not too certain about. But hey, it's not, I'm not always 100% on everything. That's just the way I feel about it now. He gets his own thing. It may happen. I think the mantle of Superman is still waiting to be carried by someone else, unfortunately. It wasn't Brandon Routh. Even though I enjoyed Superman Returns, it sure as heck is not Henry Cavill. And while Tyler Hoechlin, I think he channels a really good Kirk Allen, who was the first Superman on screen. He really has a strong resemblance to him. I really like that he channels some of that as well. I just don't see him as the next inheritor of the mantle. But at the very least, what I like even more is that he's not going to do any damage. And
Wow,
I'm really happy that he's not going to do any damage. That they decided, no, lickety split, this guy's not doing any damage. We're not going to screw things up like you did in the movie, Zack Snyder.
Well, we'll end it at that. So we all love it. Come back, keep on watching it. Spin a rack out.